afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the New Theatre. Today's play reading of Belle by George Saitoh. Just a few announcements before we begin. Please take a moment to turn off all our mobile phones. We really would appreciate if you turn them off, not just on silent. In case of emergency, we'll exit to the door in which you came, or the door behind me on the stage. There will be a 10-minute interval in between today's play reading, which you can purchase more tea and coffee at the box office. So thank you very much and enjoy the show. Belle, a play in 5 acts by George Saitoh. Act 1, Scene 1. Joanne, aged 32, is in the kitchen of her house in Dublin. She is seeing a small man, her husband's friend John Brown, whom she does not like, out the door.
Yeah, goodbye, John. I'll tell him to call you as soon as he gets in.
She closes the door and goes about her business in the kitchen. In a few moments, another man enters the house. Joanne's husband, David, aged 27.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, boy.
No, I was just wondering, that's all. Your little pal's in here just looking for you.
Who?
The little guy, what's his name again?
John Brown?
That's him, I think. I could be mistaken, but I could have sworn he was acting a bit strange.
In what way?
I don't know. It's hard to say. There was something struck me as peculiar about his manner. It caught my attention. It was like he was...
Like he was what?
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong now. It wouldn't be the first time. But I have to say, and I'm usually good at spotting this kind of thing with people, I have to say that he...
Go on and say it. What was it you thought he was like?
Well, I was trying to tell you about your little pal, John Brown. If you don't have the courtesy to let the other person finish his sentence off, I'm only making a conversation with you, by the way. There's no need for you to always jump on the defence about the time I mentioned one of your pals.
I'm not jumping on the defensive.
All right.
What was strange about John Brown? What was it? Tell me. Please, I need to know.
Well, if you must know, and I should know better by now than give my senses to the likes of you, it always comes back to bite me in the arse. If you must know, and again, this is only my impression, and I always trust my impression of people, though God knows how they've often got me into trouble, even when they turned out to be true in the fullness of time. I should probably keep my mouth shut and say nothing, let you all get on with it.
No, you can't do that. People have to hear what you think.
Well, evidently not you anyway.
Of course I do.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it from your attitude. Why is it so hard for people to listen to one another these days? Or why does there have to be so much aggression and evasion all the time? Can you answer that simple question for me? See, I grew up in an atmosphere of aggression where nobody spoke unless they were threatened or tricked, where words were used like ammunition, not to express thoughts or feelings, but to annihilate another person. Now I know you're laughing at me as I say this to you, but I don't care.
I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah, but I can name a list of people who are laughing at me if they're here now, I can assure you. Well, fuck them. I don't care. I'm going to say what I think regardless of them. Even if it kills me or leaves me friendless into the day of my death, so help me God.
That's never going to happen.
Well, you mark my words. It just might be my luck to be the victim of my own good intentions. I ought to just say, fuck it like everyone else does. Serious. Be within my rights. Why should I care so much about things that nobody else does? Get myself laughed at behind my back for trying to do the right thing, huh? Answer me that, huh? Huh?
You shouldn't worry about that.
What do you mean? Shouldn't worry about what?
About being laughed at. I mean, nobody laughs at you behind your back. It's all in their head.
Do you?
Of course not.
But you don't always believe what I tell you is true.
Of course I do.
Then why, after I told you something I know happened, do you make me feel like a little liar? Like a child is making up tales?
I don't.
Are you telling me what I do or do not feel? Are you able to do that? Well then, let me tell you a little story about telling other people what they're feeling.
No, of course not. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry. What I meant to say was that I didn't mean to make you feel that way.
You didn't mean to make me feel that way? Well, what way exactly did you try to make me feel?
What I mean is, I had no idea what way I was making you feel. I never even thought about it.
You never even thought about it. Well, do you ever think about it? Do you ever think about how you make me feel, huh? Answer me that much at least. Do you ever think about how I feel?
Of course I think about how you feel.
When?
What?
When? Give me an example. Give me one example. One example.
Do you ever think about how I feel?
All the time.
Then give me one example.
Didn't I ask when you walked in the door, is everything alright?
So what?
Didn't I say I was just wondering?
So what?
What do you think I was wondering about? About how you might be feeling. I told you something struck me as strange about John Brown, didn't I? Huh? And so I suspected it had something to do with you. That it might be a source of anxiety in you, so I wanted to give you a chance to tell me first, if you wanted to. But I didn't want to crowd you, so I kept my mouth shut to give you a chance to tell me yourself. In your own way. And now look what's happened. Do you see what happens from me caring about other people? For being considerate, how it's all one-way traffic and how it's all misconstrued. I don't know. Maybe I'm wasting my breath again as usual. No one listens to a word I say. Joanne, shut the fuck up, will you, Joanne? Big mouth Joanne, always talk about her feelings and boring everyone with them. Avoid Joanne at all costs, she talks too much. Yeah, well maybe other people talk too little. How about that, huh? But what do you say to that, huh? Isn't it possible that everyone around here talks too little? And that's what the problem is. That if everyone could only feel a little freer about saying what was in their hearts, that the world would be a better place with less aggression and less anger and stress and threats, huh? You don't think so?
I do.
Well, you do think so. Thanks for granting me that at least. Anyway, so much for John fucking Brown.
What's that over there?
What's what?
That thing there?
What, that thing? Oh, it's something John Brown dropped off you.
From... Why didn't you tell me?
Now hold on a fucking minute there. Don't go raising your voice to me again. We've been through this already. I won't go through it all over again. I just told you what it is, didn't I? If you give me a chance to speak it, I told you when you came in, instead of jumping all over me like you did. You're lucky you didn't trample on it and wreck it to pieces, whatever it was, instead of being your errand girl. What do you take me for it all, huh? Do you think I'm just here to take messages for you? And abuse on top of it? Yeah, but you can think again. I'm telling you now, I've had enough of being treated as a skivvy by people. Those days are well and truly over.
David gets up to retrieve the package and opens it.
I've had enough codswallop from people to last me a lifetime.
David begins opening the package.
It'll probably explain the strange attitude that John Brown had when he delivered it. At least that'll address one mystery.
What mystery?
The mystery of why John Brown was acting strange.
How do you know he was strange? You hardly know him.
I know people.
You haven't said how he was strange. Maybe I wouldn't have thought it was strange at all.
Well, how do you know? You weren't even here when he came in with that thing under one arm and his other arm in a sling.
In a sling?
He stops opening the package.
What do you mean?
In a sling? What do you think I mean? What's in there will probably explain it.
David goes back to opening the package. He stops again.
Is that what was strange about him? The sling?
Oh no, it wasn't that. There was something else about him that was strange.
What was it?
What?
What was it?
I don't know. Something about the way he behaved towards the other two. Something...
The other two? What other two?
The two that accompanied him to the door.
Why didn't you tell me? Forget it. Did you recognise either of the other two?
No.
Well, did you?
No. Well, what is it then?
David continues to open the package. He slows down and then stops.
What's wrong? Well, why aren't you opening? What's the matter? What, are you afraid of what you'll find? Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't know. After all this and then you won't even open it. Open it! Oh, look, I don't know what anyone bothers with you. No wonder you've everyone confused all the time. What are you doing now? Do something for fuck's sake. Don't just stand there on the middle of the floor like a spare prick.
He smashes the package on the floor beside her feet. Its contents are shattered.
But look what you've done now!
You crazy bitch! I'll kill you!
He lunges at her and grabs her by the throat. She starts screaming. He beats her and she falls to the floor. Then he goes out, leaving her sobbing. After David leaves, Joanne controls herself and crawls to look at the scraps of broken material. She picks them up and tries to piece together whatever it was.
What is it? Bottle. Bottle of what? It's no liquid. An empty bottle. He did this all over an empty. What are these things? These pieces of wood. It's some kind of toy. It's a toy ship or something. What is it? It's a ship in a bottle. A ship in a bottle. Did all this for the sake of a stupid ship in a bottle? He beat me over a silly ship in a bottle. It's one of those poxy things his father used to make me give away to people. We have one here ourselves. It's just over there in the corner. It used to be here in the corner, gathering dust. And I hated the sight of the thing, but he insisted on keeping it. I don't know how many times I asked him to get rid of it. Now where's it gone? He must have moved it.
Joanne cleans up the mess. She then starts to pull out all the kitchen utensils from the cupboards and wash them, along with the cabinets and the cooker. After a while, David returns, enters sheepishly.
Leave them. Will do.
It's all right. They're almost done now.
Well, here, let me do the rest.
Oh, look, I've finished them myself, I told you.
He backs off and goes behind her and looks at her back.
Listen,
Don't!
I have to tell you
Oh,
something.
look, I don't want to hear.
I'm nothing.
What?
I mean, I'm not in control.
You most certainly are not in control.
No, what I mean is, I'm not in control of my feelings.
What the fuck do you mean I'm not in control of my feelings? Well, then who is?
It's not that I'm not in control.
It's not that you're not in control.
No, it's just that
Oh, you're saying you're crazy?
I'm not sure. Sometimes I might be.
What are you going to do about it?
What?
I can't have your craziness hanging over me all the time, wondering when it's going to erupt again. You better go and sort yourself out.
How?
Oh, look, that's your business.
She turns back to the washing up.
I remember when my father used
Oh, I don't want to hear about all this again, okay? Look, enough about your father. From what you told me about him, you're the very same as your father was. Like father, like son. I don't think I can take any more of this.
I'm sorry.
I really don't.
I'm so sorry.
You say that every time, but it's not good enough.
But
But
sometimes...
sometimes what?
Sometimes it's not all my fault.
Oh, not your fault. Not your fault that you go crazy and abuse me. How can that not be your fault? Well, is it your father's fault?
No.
Or is it your mother's? Then whose is it? Is it mine?
Well,
Well, what, you crazy bastard? Are you trying to tell me that I asked to be abused by you? That I asked for it?
no.
Well, then what?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. What the fuck does that mean? Either I do or I don't. It can't be two ways. Come out with it straight. At least have the guts to tell me what you think to my face. If you were man enough to tell me your feelings, I wouldn't have to be a mind reader all the time. We wouldn't have all these games. Do you not see where all this secrecy between us leads to, huh? Are you completely blind to that as well? We can't go on with all these ridiculous secrets. It just leads to suspicion and distrust. And if we can't trust each other enough to tell each other everything, then who could we trust? Your family. At least whatever their faults, we can rely on my family if I had to, but I don't ever want to. I want to be self-reliant, and I need someone who can understand that. I've always been self-reliant. Ever since I can remember, I was finding out ways to earn a few bob, little few odd jobs where I get them out working, cleaning, scrubbing. I guess it's just too much to ask that somebody like me wouldn't be taken advantage of. I thought you might have been different from the rest of them.
David tries to take a pot from her.
Oh, go away from me.
David puts his arms around her. She lets him. He hugs her, and she allows it.
Just sometimes I get so tired.
I know.
And sometimes I just wish I could take a long sleep.
I know.
I wouldn't mind, but it was a wonderful day yesterday. Should have known it was too good to last.
Shh. It's alright.
You don't realise what you do to me. It upsets me when you turn on me. It's like the past coming back again to haunt me. I'm like a helpless little girl again under someone else's control. It's like I've achieved nothing since then, and I swore I'd never let myself accept that from any man.
I'm sorry.
You really gotta get yourself sorted out, or we can't go on. Your moods have to be brought with control some way. I don't know how, like medication or therapy, but something has to be done about this. I don't see why I should suffer another day because of problems from your past. I've enough on my own.
No. We'll have to do something.
Oh look, how can we start a family and give our children the love and stability every child needs to grow up into a healthy and happy adult?
End of scene. Scene 2. Some months later. A psychotherapist's salon. David is lying on a high couch. The psychologist, a man of 55, is sitting beside him.
Joanne wants a baby. She's been threatening for a while to leave me if we don't have him. Then the other night out of the blue she said she was going to leave. He wanted to kill her. When he finally fell asleep, this really strange dream. Derek McGann was in it. He was moving rapidly between Africa and Ireland, coming and going at all hours of the night. In Africa he kept dogs, grazed dogs, or only came when he was around. He'd throw blankets over them to play with them when he came back home late that night, and then he'd feed them. Ireland was where he spent his days working.